It's official. Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from Keith Urban. After nearly 2 decades of marriage, one of Hollywood's most beloved couples is calling it quits. In the divorce documents, Nicole cites irreconcilable differences, and it seems the two have already agreed on one of the most sensitive parts: custody of their daughters. Nicole will be the primary residential parent, with 306 days of parenting each year. Keith gets 59. The last time they were seen together? 3 months ago, smiling at a World Cup soccer event in Nashville. Just 5 days later, Nicole posted a sweet anniversary photo. "Happy anniversary, baby," she wrote. Keith never responded. Now, reports say Keith moved out earlier this summer. He's got his own place in Nashville. And, according to whispers in the industry, he might already be seeing someone else. For fans who once believed in their fairy tale, the news feels like the end of an era. Picture this: Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, Hollywood's golden couple. She is the Oscar-winning actress with the poise of a queen. He is the country music superstar with the charm of a Southern poet. For almost 20 years, they seemed unstoppable. Red carpets, award shows, private jets, matching smiles. But behind the glamour, something was breaking. And as the lights fade, what's left isn't just another celebrity split. It's the untold story of two people who loved deeply, fought quietly, and ultimately couldn't hold it together. So how did it all begin? Let's rewind. Nicole Kidman's story starts far from Hollywood, in Honolulu, Hawaii, where she was born, and later in Sydney, Australia, where she grew up. A shy, quiet child who preferred ballet shoes and community theater over parties. At 16, she landed her first big role in an Australian movie called BMX Bandits. That's where the spark began. And within a few short years, Nicole's name started echoing beyond Australia. Then came Dead Calm in 1989, a psychological thriller that made the world take notice. Hollywood saw her, and Hollywood wanted her. A year later, she starred opposite Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, and soon it wasn't just acting. They married in 1990. For more than a decade, they were Hollywood royalty, adopting 2 children, building a family, and living a life most could only dream of. But fame has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. In 2001, that marriage ended. The world watched Nicole walk away from one of Hollywood's biggest love stories. But she didn't crumble. That same year, Moulin Rouge catapulted her to new heights. She was dazzling, tragic, and unstoppable. Her performance earned her an Oscar nomination. And more importantly, it proved she was more than just Tom Cruise's ex. Nicole had become her own force, independent, resilient, and reborn. Meanwhile, halfway across the world, another story was unfolding. Keith Urban, born in New Zealand, raised in Australia. Music wasn't just a passion, it was his lifeline. By 6, he was strumming a guitar. By his teens, he was playing in bars, chasing a dream that always seemed just out of reach. But success didn't come easy. Behind the bright smile and the country twang, Keith battled addiction, alcohol, drugs, the constant pull of self-destruction. He fell, he got back up, and he fell again. Until 2002, when Somebody Like You changed everything. That song wasn't just a hit. It was a breakthrough. Keith had finally made it. But even as his fame soared, the demons never fully disappeared. His rehab stints became headlines. His struggles became public. Still, the one thing that never left him was his music. The one honest thread in a life full of noise. Then, in 2005, destiny stepped in. The G'day USA Gala, a celebration of Australian talent in Los Angeles. That's where Nicole and Keith met for the first time. Nicole, elegant, composed, untouchable. Keith, charming, a little shy, and not quite sure how to talk to her. She didn't think he was interested. He didn't call her for months. But when he finally did, something clicked. That phone call turned into long conversations, then dinners, and soon, something deeper. It wasn't a Hollywood whirlwind. It was slow, steady, and real. They got married in 2006 in Sydney, a dreamy, candlelit ceremony that felt straight out of a movie. Fans adored them, the actress and the country boy, two souls from different worlds who somehow fit perfectly together. For years, their love seemed unshakable. They spoke openly about their devotion. They walked red carpets hand in hand. And when Keith checked into rehab just months after their wedding, Nicole stood by him, proving that her love wasn't just for show. They built a family, two beautiful daughters, Sunday and Faith. Their life looked picture perfect. But perfection, especially in Hollywood, is often the first sign of pressure. By 2011, subtle cracks began to appear. Their smiles looked a little tighter. Their interviews are a little more careful. Nicole's career was thriving. The Paperboy, Big Little Lies, The Undoing. Roles that demanded every ounce of her time and focus. Keith's career, too, was booming. World tours, recording sessions, constant travel. Two careers soaring in opposite directions. Two people trying to stay connected through distance, fame, and exhaustion. And then, the old ghosts returned. Keith's battles with addiction resurfaced, quietly at first, but enough to shake the foundation. Nicole tried to hold it together. But when your world becomes two separate stages, one spotlighted in Hollywood, the other in Nashville, even love starts to fade into static. By the mid-2010s, the couple's distance was impossible to ignore. Publicly, they were supportive. Privately, they were slipping away. Nicole poured herself into acting. Keith poured himself into music. The bond that once made them a team began to feel like an obligation. They'd show up for red carpets, smile, pose, hold hands, then retreat to separate worlds. Behind the camera flashes, the silence grew. And by 2023, it was over. The separation news broke first, quiet but shocking. Fans didn't want to believe it. They were supposed to be the one couple that made it work. But by 2025, the divorce papers made it real. For Nicole, this moment isn't unfamiliar. She's walked through heartbreak before, and each time she's come back stronger. After the split, Nicole didn't disappear. If anything, she soared higher. Her performances in Big Little Lies and The Undoing reminded everyone why she's one of Hollywood's greats. Off-screen, she's been the rock for her daughters, showing them that strength doesn't mean never breaking. It means rising every time you do. She's living proof that grace under fire isn't an act. It's who she is. As for Keith, his journey has always been about redemption. He's faced addiction, fame, loss, and now another painful goodbye. But through it all, he's never lost his rhythm. Music remains his therapy, his escape, and his truth. Since the separation, he's reportedly focused on sobriety, fitness, and new projects, both musical and personal. He's not the same man he was 20 years ago. He's older, wiser, maybe a little broken, but still here, still standing. And that's the thing about this story. Nicole and Keith's marriage wasn't a failure. It was a journey, full of love, struggle, forgiveness, and growth. They gave each other years of joy. They raised a family. They fought battles, together and apart. Their story reminds us that even in Hollywood, where fairy tales are scripted and perfection is sold, real love is messy, complicated, and human. Maybe they couldn't make it last forever. But maybe forever isn't the point. Sometimes love comes into your life to teach you who you are. And once it does, it moves on. So, as the dust settles and the headlines fade, one truth remains. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban may no longer be a couple, but their story, their legacy, is carved into the heart of Hollywood. A love that burned bright, a bond that broke beautifully, and two people who walked away, not as enemies, but as survivors. Because in the end, the greatest love stories aren't the ones that last forever. They're the ones that change us forever. And so what do you think? Could Nicole and Keith have saved their marriage? Or were they simply two stars destined to shine on different horizons? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe, and stay tuned, because in Hollywood, love stories may fade, but the truth behind them always finds the light.